Hello, my name is Larry, and I am a PCT 2020 thru hiker. And today I'm going to be going through all of the equipment that I'll be bringing on my Continental Divide Trail hike for 2022. So first we're going to go through the big four. This is my tent. I have it in the Cedar Summit stuff sack. It's the Six Moon Designs Haven Net Tent bundle. I used this on the PCT in 2020, lasted all the way through. I had a couple of problems with it, but nothing that stopped it from functioning at 100%. I stayed completely dry in this tent. It was very reliable. So I'm bringing this. This is the newer model of it. So if you go to Six Moons Designs, this is slightly newer than the one that I had in 2020. So this is a very good tent, very versatile. The next is my Sierra Designs Nitro 20 sleeping bag. It's rated for 20 degrees. Sierra Designs actually has a lot of interesting design sleeping bags. I used a Sierra Designs for my PCT hike, and they came out with this quilt design, which actually has a lot of interesting things on it. It's got these little like mitten type things on either side, so that when you're sleeping, you can like wrap yourself up in it easier. And then there's even like this little front part here. Put your face in it like that. You can hang out and camp with your feet in the sleeping bag and little mitten things like this. It's kind of weird, but I like that. Next is my pack. This is the Hyperlite Southwest 3400. I did use, forget the name of this one, but this was my PCT pack. And really the only differences between these two is the outer side bags. It's made out of a tougher material. Hyperlite is extraordinarily durable, and I didn't have any issues with my pack. There was no back problems, nothing like that. The pack held up quite well. I could even use my pack from 2020 for further hikes if I wanted to. I decided to get a new Hyperlite for this one because the CDT, from what I understand, is pretty rugged. And I didn't want my pack to fail while I was out on trail. So I got a new one just to be safe that it'll last all the way through. One more thing about the pack is I do have a couple of accessory pouches on it. I do have a handkerchiefs for wiping sweat, wiping snot off my nose. This is where I'll store my water bottle in here. And then my cell phone and headphones can go in this Hyperlite carrying pouch. For my sleeping pad, I decided to go a little bit different route than a Thermarest Z-Rest pad. I do like the Z-Rest. I think they're really great to have when you're taking breaks. But I wanted to be able to sleep a little bit better on this trail, so I went with the Nemo Tensor. This is a regular wide. I'm definitely upping the weight just to have this with me, but I figured it's something I'm going to be using every night on trail, and it's going to benefit my sleep greatly. I've used it a couple of times already, and it's a fantastic sleeping pad. I think this is going to be a game changer for me on trail. All right, moving down the list, we're going to get to my clothing, and I'll try to go from like head to toe or whatever. I'm going to be bringing my Michigan cap. It's just the state of Michigan flag, and that's about it for the head. I will have a pair of sunglasses, whatever cheap pair I can find at a gas station. I don't think too much about sunglasses. Then I have a buff. Just a standard buff. My jacket is going to be puffy jacket, Patagonia, forget the name of it, but this was on the PCT with me as well, and it'll be coming with me on the CDT again. Then we have my raincoat. I did have the REI Rainier coat, but I didn't find that to be extraordinarily waterproof. And once it got wet, absorbed moisture, it just stopped being a rain jacket. And it just held water. So I found this in some of my old gear. I think this is my like rain gear for my motorcycle, and this does a better job of keeping the rain off. And I'm going to keep a plastic poncho in the pocket just in case. I used a plastic poncho on the PCT, and it worked extraordinarily well for not only keeping the water off me, but it helped kind of insulate me a bit too. So if there's any cold, rainy days or nights that I'm hiking on the CDT, I think this particular rain jacket is going to do quite well to hold off the rain. For rain pants, this is from REI as well. These are really good for, you know, the morning dew that collects if you're going to be walking through some brush or bushwhacking or what have you. They do an okay job of keeping the rain off, but similar to the Rainier jacket, once they start taking on too much water, they're no longer water resistant. But it's an extra layer to help keep some warmth in. So these were on my PCT hike as well. So another piece of gear that's returning. Now for my shirt, my main shirt that I got, I actually ordered it from Jolly Gear, but it's not in yet. They don't have those pre-sale things out. They don't come out until March. And if for some reason that shirt doesn't show up, I do have this. It's just a Columbia shirt, and it's black. I've worn this on some walks around town, on a few hikes already, and I really enjoy it. It's light, and it works. So that's my backup, but the Jolly Gear shirt in the topography print is going to be my main shirt, which has a hood on it. It's buttoned down, but I'll have to wait until March to get that. Another piece of gear returning from my PCT hike is this gray Columbia shirt. I've used it for running. I use it all on the PCT. It's mainly just a sleep shirt or a town shirt, but it's extraordinarily comfortable. It's lightweight, packs down real small. So this will be coming with me on the CDT. For my hiking shorts, I went with just some cheap $20 pair from Amazon. I figured I didn't need to spend a whole lot on a pair of shorts, especially since I know like the materials are all relatively the same. These ones, the only thing I was really looking for was something that had zipper pockets. I found zipper pockets to be very useful on hikes. So these are real light gray in color, and they are Podola, whatever company that is, but just a cheap $20 pair from Amazon for hiking shorts. And then underwear, I'm going to be bringing 2 pairs of these. These are from REI, and they kept the chafing away, and they were very comfortable, so I'll be using these again. Gaiters. Well, let's just do the gaiters and gloves. So we have these gaiters. I use these on the PCT. These are brand new though, because the other ones were getting a little worn out. They're not like your normal type of gaiter either. They have a zipper on them. What I love about these is once you have them attached to your shoe, you just zip up the side and they stay attached. So when I get to camp at night, I don't have to finagle with unclipping them. I just unzip, slide the shoe off, and these stay on. And I really like that. So these are another piece of gear that I can't recommend enough. These were just really good. Gloves. These are just a pair of shower insulated waterproof gloves. These were recommended from a fellow hiker that I met on the PCT. His name's Jenga. And if it rains, I feel like these will do an excellent job of keeping the water out. They are a little bit heavier than like a lightweight pair of gloves, but the fact that they're insulated and waterproof is huge. If I have to keep hiking and using my trekking poles and having my hands gripping something, I think these are going to do an excellent job of keeping my hands warm while I'm on the trail if it gets too cold or if it's raining and cold. Next up is my hiking pants. Again, had these on the PCT. They held up great. These are Mountain Hardwear. And these, I know that it's kind of overkill with my clothing. I may send some back, but I found that the clothing that I carried on the PCT worked really well, whatever clothing system I had, and it did include a pair of rain pants, a pair of hiking pants. So even though it is a bit extra weight, I found to have the versatility, having the ability to change from these pants in the morning and into my shorts at night, or even just having them in town. It was just really useful to have them. As for socks, I have the Darn Tough ankle socks. Went through a couple of pairs of these on the CDT just through natural wear. Never had any blisters with these, and I pair them with the Ultra. These are the 4s, and I do have 2 pairs of the 5s. I'll probably have one more pair, so I'll go through 4 pairs of the Ultra Lone Peaks shoe design. Never had any blisters with these. So these will be coming along mixed with the Darn Tough, and I do have a Dr. Scholl's plantar fasciitis insole in these. I do have another jacket, but this is more of like my hiking jacket. If I'm on the move, on the trail, this Arc'teryx jacket is amazing. I'll have to pull the sleeves up a little bit or pull them down if it gets a little chilly, but this regulates body temperature while I'm moving in the morning extraordinarily well. So even though I do have, a puffy jacket and a rain jacket, having this third jacket from when I'm on the move, it was so nice because I wasn't sweating like crazy in a rain jacket or sweating like crazy in a puffy jacket. This was just really great for on the move hiking, whereas the others are like one specifically for rain, one is more for if you're just trying to get warm and being still and not sweating. This is the Jetboil stash. There's a fuel canister, a lighter, and the stove itself all in this one thing. There's also a little stand that comes with it. A Sea to Summit spork. And now for my water treatment. Water treatment is very simple. I have the Katadyn Be Free with a 2-liter water bag. Discovered this on the PCT, loved it. Flow rate is really high. You can fill up water, full liter of water very quickly with those. The downside is that if the water's kind of murky or pretty dirty, it will clog the filter and slow the flow rate. But in the long run, I think that's kind of the trade-off. As far as water storage, I will have about 3 liters of water in smart water bottles, and then at full capacity with the 2-liter water bag, I'll be able to carry 5 liters of water, no problem. So toiletries that I'm bringing, pretty simple. I actually had this Ziploc bag through the entire PCT, and for some reason I think it'd be kind of fun to bring it on the CDT and see how far it goes. But bandages, basic bandages and wraps, not a whole lot in here. Toothbrush, toothpaste, and I will have a roll of toilet paper as well, so that's my toiletries. This is my Hyperlight bag. I'm using this for storage. These things are shaped to fit really well inside of the Hyperlight bags themselves, and I like that design, so I'm bringing that. Some other random gear that I'm bringing is a butt pad. Again, I love the Z-Rest for taking breaks, and I just can't quite part with this comfort on the side of the trail when I'm taking a break, so that'll be coming with me. I do have the Sea to Summit pillow, inflatable pillow. I've had this for years. The valve on this has held up extraordinarily well, so this was a luxury item that I bought on a whim, and very great investment for this. I think I'm going to be sleeping really well on the CDT. This was a luxury item that I brought with me on the PCT. A lot of people that saw my Lighterpack site said, you should probably just get rid of that. But when I'm in my tent at night and this thing is glowing like a candlelight, it's a really great vibe, and it's very relaxing. It's solar powered, so I don't have to worry about charging it really. And then at night when I'm going to the bathroom, I don't have to take my headlamp out. I can just use this, and it gets me out there, and it's nice. It's not super bright. It's just a really nice thing to have in the tent. It's inflatable. There's a slight hole in it right now, so it just kind of squishes down, but that's okay. And this is what it looks like. I'll clip it on the outside of my bag so it can charge. The brand is Lucy Lux. That's what this is from. And for my headlamp, sticking with my trusted Nightcore headlamp, this is the NU25. And it does have the red light feature on it, which is nice if I have to do any kind of like rummaging around at night or whatever, and the lantern just doesn't cut it. But very light, very trustworthy headlamp that I used on the PCT, and it's going on the CDT now. A lot of gear seems to be returning for the CDT. And for GPS communication and locator beacon, I have my Garmin InReach Explorer Plus, and this was also on the PCT. But I decided with the Plus because I like having the map also on this, and I figure if I'm going to have a GPS locator, if my phone dies for whatever reason, if I lose it, or if if the battery's dead and I'm out there, or whatever happens, this is just a secondary backup. And I figured if I was going to have a system of redundancy on any piece of gear, it should be my navigation, because this can at least get me somewhere safe. So I went with the Explorer Plus so I could have backup digital maps as well. Now on to the electronics bag. I carried all of my electronics, like my charging electronics at least, in a bag like this on the PCT. So there is actually 3 charging blocks in here. I don't know if I need all 3, but they seem to all come in handy at some point. I have one that charges my 20,000 milliamp battery bank by Anker, and one that charges, it's a quick charge for my cell phone, and then a random USB one for my GPS. I know that seems like overkill, but again, I found uses for all 3 of these, even if it was just letting somebody else borrow it to charge their stuff while we were sitting somewhere and there was an outlet. So I know it's kind of overkill, but again, there was a lot of uses there. I have all the cords for all of the charging devices that I'll need. Now for cold weather gear, basic leggings, insulated, nothing crazy. I do have a pair of ice spikes that I'll have. I'll be mailing those to myself somewhere along the CDT when I figure out if I need them or not. And then this is just an insulated hood. I've been using this. It is winter in Michigan right now, so this is really great for cold weather. It doesn't exactly cover your mouth, but there is a slight mask on the inside. And because your head rests a little bit farther back, it also blocks wind. So this is a really great piece of gear. I'll have this if the weather turns and gets really cold. Also have a bag of tent stakes that will be coming with me. For trekking poles, I'm going to be carrying a pair of Black Diamond trekking poles. Forget the model, but these ones were on the Pacific Crest Trail with me, and I've had to replace the tips. I have a little bit of sports wrap just in case, just something to have. And then the grips are rubber. I did have to replace the straps on these because a deer decided to gnaw on these while I was asleep. So black diamond trekking poles, also the poles for my tent. This is another item I'm going to try to have with me for most of the trail, considering the weather conditions. This is the Six Moon Designs ultralight umbrella. I had one of these through the desert on the PCT, and it was very handy. Didn't really need it for the rest of that hike, so I sent it home because we had really good weather. But from my understanding, the CDT does get wet, so I will be carrying this with me as well. So now we're going to see how much it all weighs. I have everything set up on my Lighterpack, but I have a feeling it's going to be slightly heavier. My Lighterpack says that this stuff should weigh about 13 pounds, but every time I've done this, it usually ends up weighing more. So let's see. $18.2 pounds. And that doesn't have any food or water in it. This is just basic base weight. Also, if you guys want to see a more detailed breakdown of my gear, just let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing, and I can break down my gear further in other videos. Well, that's everything that I'm going to be carrying with me on the Continental Divide Trail. If you want to follow along my hike, I start April 9th, and I'm going to attempt to try to upload videos every day. I'll probably do that thing where you delay a little bit so that I can schedule the release of the videos. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys down the trail.